In this video today, I'm going to show you how you can use the Orca Full Spectrum fork to print out objects that you have downloaded from the Makerworld website. In this case, this particular duck has 6 colors, and so I'm going to walk you through how to actually print out this duck using the Full Spectrum fork. Okay, you are going to want to download the Orca Slicer Full Spectrum fork. And so this is the website you're going to want to go to. This will also be in the description of the video. You're going to want to scroll down to the download area and download the latest stable release. Right now, the most recent stable release is version 0.9.4. So we're going to click on this. And the one we're using in here is going to be the Snapmaker Orca for Windows portable version. So what you're going to do is you're going to download the zip file and you will unzip it into a folder. And I name my folder to make sure that I recognize it as being the Full Spectrum fork. This way, by using the portable, you can still keep the Snapmaker Orca that you have, the regular Snapmaker Orca, and then just run the executable in the folders that you're going to unzip if you want to run the Full Spectrum. All right, next we are going to download the Peggy Palette Mini 38 color full spectrum tester from Makerworld. And when you do this, you don't want to open in Bamboo Studio, or you don't want to download the 3MF. You want to download STL CAD files. And you will download the 3MF that you find in here. So I will just download this. And now we're ready to set this up in the slicer. Okay, and I'm going to open the Full Spectrum Snapmaker Orca file. Okay, and I'm always going to get this download new version prompt. And the reason I'm getting this is because I'm using the portable version of the Full Spectrum slicer. And what this is doing is it's finding the actual Orca, the Snapmaker Orca file that I have installed on my computer. So I actually have both versions. I have the normal Snapmaker Orca and also the portable Full Spectrum slicer. And so at this point, just always going to say cancel because this is not going to update the correct version. And so what we're going to do here is we are going to go to File and Open Project. I'm going to discard previous settings. And we are going to open up the Peggy palette that we just downloaded from Makerworld. Now to get a more accurate color match for the colors that I'm using, I'm going to use red, green, and blue values for it. So for cyan, it's going to be 0 and 255 for green and 255 for blue. And that gives you a cyan color. And then for the magenta, the color for magenta is 255, 0 for the green, and 255 for the blue. And then the yellow is 255, 255, and 0, so that one's okay. And then the white is 255, 255, and 255. So now we have our colors mapped. Okay, now that we've got our colors mapped, we can hide the mixed filaments here for now. You can go ahead and slice this and print it out, because you might find it easier since these are not numbered. You can use a Sharpie after it's printed out to identify what the filament number is for each of these little squares. And how you're going to do that is you're going to come over here and select Objects. And then when you select number 1, that's showing you that this one right here is number 1. Then number 2 is this one right here. Number 3 is this one right here. Number 4 is the white, and it's also that little dot right there. And then number 5 is that, and also the little dot right there. And then 6, 7, 8, and so on and so on. And that's how you can identify the numbers of each one of these and label your swatch, so that when you want to color your actual items that you're going to want to print out, you can just select the filament number based on your swatch. Now the actual filaments I'm going to be using, I'm going to use some Panchroma PLA translucent filaments. And so I'm going to change all these to that type. And then for my white, I am just using the Snapmaker Snapspeed White. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this file as a template file, so that whenever I want to start a new project, I start with this. So I'm going to come up to File, and I'm going to save the project as, and I am going to save it in a folder that I'm saving all my full spectrum files in. Now in this case, I want this to be my template file, and so I'm going to call it Peggy Palette, and I'm using CMYW. And so now I have this file saved, and I can use it as a template the next time I need to use to color an object with this particular palette. Okay, next we're going to download a file from Makerworld. Then this particular file had, I believe, 6 different colors, and so we're going to use the full spectrum to color it. So what we're going to do is we are going to download the 3MF file, and I am going to download it to a Bamboo Lab folder, because this is where I keep all the files that I download using Bamboo Lab. I've already downloaded it, so I'm not going to download it again. Okay, and we've got our full spectrum fork of Snapmaker open. We've put in our 4 filaments, and we have printed out our swatch here. And so now what we're going to do is we are going to select this other plate here. We're going to come up to File. You want to import, and we're going to import that 3MF file that we downloaded from Makerworld. And so I downloaded that to my Bamboo Lab folder, and it's this file right here. Now you'll notice it comes in all strange colors, and it's added 2 colors here, which is going to throw your swatch off here. The first thing we want to do is we want to delete these 2 extra colors. Now if you're wanting to reprint your swatch, because it added those 2 extra colors, it has kind of interfered with the mapping here. And so if you're going to want to reprint out this swatch, you're going to have to remap it. And once again, you select it and you come up to Color. And this is where, if you have numbered your swatches, it's going to make it a lot easier. You're going to want to change this to Fill. This is number 1. Number 2 is right here. Number 3 is right here. Number 4 is here and the little dot. Number 5 is right here and this little dot. And then number 6 is this one, and 7, and so on. Okay, and so now I've remapped all of these to be the correct number. And you only need to do this if you're going to want to print out this swatch again. And the reason we had to do that is because when we imported this duck, it added 2 new filaments up in this region, which threw off the mapping of our swatch. So that's just how you would remap the swatch. And it looks like actually I got number 16 wrong. Let me look at that. Number 16, I clicked the wrong one for that. And hit escape to get out of here. Okay, now we're going to have to map our duck. So we're going to select it and we're going to come up to color painting again and move the mouse out of here. To move the mouse, I'm holding the scroll bar on my mouse down, and that helps me move this. Then I'm going to scroll up to expand this. Okay. Now you're going to select what you want. You want to make sure you're in fill mode here. And we'll select our shortcut key, and we'll select that because this is going to be white. We'll select the yellow for the duck itself. Well, actually, I don't want to do that yet because I want to do the duck bill first, which we'll do number 14. I want to make that. Now we can do the duck for the yellow. If I didn't do that, this was yellow before, and so it would have turned this, and then I would have had to manually paint that, which I didn't want to do. Okay, for the eyes, there's kiwi on the eyes, and so I'm going to use maybe just a light green. And then for the inside, I'm going to use the lightest yellow that we've got. And then for the outside of the kiwi, I'm going to use the darkest color. And so now we have colored our duck. Hit escape to get out. Now when you're mapping your colors, look at your color swatch so that you can get exactly the color you want for the different parts. Now also, this duck as it's downloaded from Makerworld is really quite small at 47.29% scale. You might want to try increasing that to 63% or even 100 to make it a larger duck. Personally, I like the 63%. And then we're going to slice it. Okay, now you'll notice it did put supports down. If you feel the duck needed supports, in this case, the duck's bill is going up at enough of an angle that it probably doesn't need supports. But not every model that you download will do that. And so you want to make sure that supports are enabled, which I did for this particular duck. Now we're ready to print. So we'll send it to the printer, upload and print. Now this last step is very important. You want to make sure that it's recognizing the filaments, which in my case it's not. You'll notice this cyan is thinking as white. So you want to make sure that these are mapped as 1, 2, 3, and 4 as they're actually on the system. And then you can send it to the printer and print it out. here are the final printed out ducks in the 3 sizes that we mentioned in this video. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.